Didn't you say you liked cookies? My mother-in-law smiled happily and looked into my face. She dotes on her son and always sees me, her daughter-in-law, as her rival. And yet, what in the world is going on today? Yes, I do like them, but I bought your favorite cookies. Come on, eat them, eat them. Did you buy them specifically for me? Of course. You are my dear daughter after all. My heart stirred with unease at my mother-in-law's excessive radiant smile. What on earth is going on? Something like this has never happened before. It's strange. There must be something fishy. Perhaps my mother-in-law is scheming something. What waited me was an unexpected outcome. My name is Jamie, 30 years old. I work as a corporate employee at the headquarters of a major supermarket. 2 years ago, I joined a group blind date at the invitation of my colleagues. It was there that I met my husband Austin. We exchanged contact information, and as we exchanged messages, he and I became much closer. We started dating soon after we met, and our first anniversary as a couple, he proposed to me.
Jamie, it might seem too soon, but I want you to marry me.
Wait a moment. Are you sure someone like me is enough?
Yes, Jamie. It's you I want. Jamie, are you okay with me?
What are you saying? Of course, it's obvious. I wouldn't want anyone but you, Austin.
I see. That's good then.
Austin had a relieved expression on his face and took out a small box in front of me. Inside was a sparkling diamond ring. He looked straight into my eyes and said with a gentle smile,
Please marry me, Jamie. I will definitely make you happy. So please stay by my side forever.
Yes, thank you. I look forward to it as well. And so, we transitioned from being lovers to being engaged. I was excited beyond measure for the relationship with him that was about to begin. However, at that moment, I hadn't realized it yet, that marrying someone you love is not solely based on happiness. A few days after the proposal, Austin came to visit my parents' house. I had already told my parents about his good personality, so despite meeting him for the first time, the impression was very positive. My father and Austin, in particular, bonded over their shared hobby of fishing and engaged in a lively conversation. My mother and I watched over them with a heartwarming smile. I was relieved and happy that my parents liked Austin. With their approval, I knew that even after getting married, I would be able to visit my parents' home regularly. Since I don't have any siblings, my family consists solely of my father and mother. While our childhood home is a bit far from the new home Austin and I will be living in, it is a distance that can easily be managed by car. I had always hoped to make regular visits to my parents' home whenever the timing allowed. The following week, it was my turn to visit Austin's parents' house. Just like me, he is also an only child without any siblings. He was probably raised with great care. The certainty struck me as soon as I pressed the intercom button at his parents' house. Welcome back, Austin. I was lonely. As she came out from the entrance, my mother-in-law eagerly embraced Austin. Then, she gave me a sharp glance and began to sweet-talk him in a cuddling voice. Austin, you never seem to come back home easily. Your mother was lonely, you know.
Sorry, but what can I do? I've been busy with work.
Work? Yet you have time to meet your girlfriend, but no time to visit your mother? Besides, our house isn't that far away.
Listen, Mom, I'm not a kid anymore. I do visit regularly, so cut me some slack.
Oh, Austin, you just don't understand how lonely I've been. You don't understand at all. My mother-in-law pouted and made her cutesy expression, resembling that of a calculated high school girl. I couldn't help but feel slightly taken aback, but I greeted her without showing it on my face. Nice to meet you, Dana. I'm Jamie, the one in a relationship with Austin. So you are Jamie. I was wondering what kind of person would come, but you are much more ordinary than I expected. Ordinary? I didn't mean it as a compliment. Your appearance is plain, and your style is average. You truly give off the impression that Austin chose you. I apologize for being ordinary. I forced a smile on my face. Of course I wasn't happy. In fact, I was quite shocked. How could I not to be shocked that someone who would be my mother-in-law would talk to me like that when I first met her? Then Austin reprimanded his mother.
Hey, Mom, why would you say something like that? Apologize to Jamie.
Why should I? I simply stated the truth.
Jamie is very sweet and very important to me. Please stop saying things that belittle her.
What's wrong with you? Always taking Jamie's side. Have you started hating your own mother?
It's not like that. But if you badmouth someone I love, even if it's my own mother, I won't forgive it.
Austin gave his mom a piercing glare. In response, his mom fell silent with a dissatisfied expression. We were led to the living room in an uncomfortable atmosphere. Already seated on the sofa was Austin's father, Jeff.
Welcome.
He directed a warm smile towards us. Though it may sound impolite to say this, unlike my mother-in-law, my father-in-law made a good impression. He engaged in various conversations. That helped ease my nervousness.
So, Jamie, what kind of work do you do?
I work at the headquarters of Greenmart, a supermarket chain. I'm involved in product planning and such.
Oh, I see. I actually love Greenmart's original cookies.
Really? That makes me happy. I actually love cookies too, and I put a lot of effort into them during product planning.
Is that so? Whoa, you're amazing, Jamie. To have someone who can make such delicious things as my son's wife, I'm really proud.
Upon hearing my father-in-law's words, my husband replied, "Yeah," with a delighted expression. I laughed along with them. However, I suddenly felt an unsettling gaze and snapped back to reality. My mother-in-law was glaring at me with a fierce expression. It seems that she was displeased with me enjoying the conversation with Austin and my father-in-law. I was kind of scared and could not concentrate on the conversation after that. Eventually, Austin and I got married without any issues. However, there was numerous problems waiting for me. When we informed my mother-in-law about the location of our new apartment, she burst into tears. "Why isn't it near our place? It would be nice if you could live with us. Jamie said she doesn't want to, right?" She framed it as if I were the villain and cried out in front of my husband and father-in-law. Even though my husband and I found an apartment that was conveniently located between our workplaces, it seems like my mother-in-law had assumed that our new home would be close to their place. She might have even considered the possibility of us living together. Since our new home was far from their place, and there had been no discussion of living together, my mother-in-law was furious and crying. While my husband and father-in-law managed to calm the situation at the time, it left a bitter aftertaste for us. Not wanting to further incur my mother-in-law's displeasure, I made a suggestion to my husband. "Hey, Austin, I have a suggestion for our future. What if we visit your parents' house once a month?"
Thank you for making that suggestion. But my mom keeps saying disrespectful things to you. Are you sure it's okay?
Your mom wants to see you, and since we can't live nearby, I think it's good to show up and visit. Besides, I also want to build a good relationship with your mom.
Jamie, thank you. If anything happens, I will always protect you.
Yeah, thank you. Whenever my mother-in-law confronted me, my husband would come to my rescue. If we continue to visit his parents' house more often in the future, I'm sure my mother-in-law will have something to say each time. But I have Austin. If he's there to protect me, I'm not afraid. And for his sake, I want to make an effort to build a good relationship with my mother-in-law. And so, starting from the following month, we made it a habit to visit my in-laws' house every month. However, reality turned out to be much harsher than I had imagined. Even with our regular visits, my mother-in-law's attitude remained unchanged. She would hurl cold words at me and give me icy stares. At first, she would say hurtful things without restraint and often received reprimands from my husband and father-in-law. But gradually, my mother-in-law learned, and recently she started targeting me with verbal abuse only when they weren't around. In the shadows, she would unleash even harsher words than before. As I left my in-laws' house,
Did you have an okay day?
I always get asked by my husband, but I just can't bring myself to tell him the truth. I didn't want to trouble or hurt him. Besides, since he hasn't witnessed the scenes of my mother-in-law's mistreatment, I thought it would be difficult for him to believe me. It's okay. Words of complete contradiction escaped from my mouth. Despite suggesting the visit to my in-laws' house myself, my heart was already nearing its limit. And so, today arrived, the monthly visit to my in-laws' house. Suppressing my feelings of melancholy, I head towards my father-in-law and mother-in-law's place with my husband driving. I wonder what my mother-in-law will say to me today. I have work tomorrow too, so I hope we can leave early. With a heavy heart, I ring the doorbell. However, on this day, it was my father-in-law who appeared at the front door, not my mother-in-law. Jeff!
Dinner is out shopping right now. Please wait inside.
I had prepared myself to face my mother-in-law, so I was somewhat taken aback. As I entered the living room, my father-in-law made tea for us, and the three of us began chatting. In my in-laws' house, even conversation with my father-in-law had been so challenging that it was difficult to find reasons to laugh. However, during this rare and enjoyable time, my tension gradually melted away, and I found myself gradually wearing a smile. But shortly thereafter, "I'm back!" I instantly tensed up upon hearing her voice. It's my mother-in-law. My heart started pounding. As I prepared myself mentally, my mother-in-law appeared in the living room with a smile on her face. But then, she came straight towards me, showing a shopping bag right in front of me. "You said you like cookies, right?" My mother-in-law smiled happily and looks into my face. I couldn't find the words to say in this confusing situation. My mother-in-law, who treats me as her enemy and constantly bullies me behind the backs of my father-in-law and husband. Yet, what kind of game is she playing today? With trepidation, I cautiously spoke up in front of her, as she smiled brightly. "Oh, yes, I do like them." "I bought your favorite cookies, Jamie. Come on, eat. "Did you buy them specifically for me? Is it okay?" "Of course. You're my lovely daughter after all." Such thought couldn't possibly be true. The overly radiant smile on my mother-in-law's face made my heart palpitate. What on earth's going on? This has never happened before. This is strange. There must be something behind this. My mother-in-law took out 2 packets from the bag. One packet contained 3 white cookies. The other packet had one pink cookie. Then, my mother-in-law offered me the pink cookie. Here, these are limited edition ones. They are pink and cute, so I bought them just for Jamie. Oh, thank you. Jeff and Austin will have the white ones over there. I will go make some fresh coffee. Singing a tune, my mother-in-law headed towards the kitchen. It's definitely strange how she's in such a good mood, especially when I'm here. Moreover, she should have known from the beginning that we were coming today. I suspect my mother-in-law is plotting something. It seems I'm not the only one who thinks so. My husband took the pink cookie and stuffed it entirely into his mouth. Wait, Austin!
It's fine.
But I have a bad feeling about this. Doesn't he sense something off?
Isn't that Jamie's?
He jokingly scolds my husband, not realizing the situation. I made the coffee. My mother-in-law returns to the living room with a joyful expression. At that moment, my husband spits out the cookie, clutching his throat in agony. He foams at the mouth and collapses. In his convulsion, he falls from the sofa, crashing onto the floor.
Are you okay?
He's not okay. Jeff, call an ambulance, please. Hurry! As I urgently pleaded, my father-in-law started making a phone call. Upon witnessing this situation, my mother-in-law's face contorted, and she slammed the tray along with the coffee cup onto the floor. What's going on? The pink cookie, Jamie ate it! With my mother-in-law's statement, I became convinced she had indeed tampered with the cookie, and it must have contained something that caused physical abnormalities. While rubbing Austin's back, I glared at my mother-in-law, and she trembled and collapsed on the spot. Austin ended up eating the cookie that was supposed to be for me. It's surprising, isn't it? Good job on the self-destruction. Things won't be the same as before anymore. About 10 minutes later, the ambulance arrived. By that time, my husband had regained his composure to some extent. He was able to have a conversation.
Did you eat something?
When asked by the paramedics, my husband answered clearly.
I ate the cookies my mother bought. All right, let's examine you at the hospital for now. Yes, please.
My husband decided to go to the hospital as a precaution, and I chose to accompany him in the ambulance. After the examination, it turned out that what my husband had consumed was a chili pepper called scorpion, known for its extreme spiciness and heat. My husband's stomach was so upset that he was given a gastric lavage and told to stay in the hospital for a few days. The next day, while my husband and I were in the hospital room, we heard a knock on the door. When we opened it, there stood my father-in-law and a remorseful-looking mother-in-law.
Hey, there's something you should say to Jamie first.
My mother-in-law opens her heavy mouth with a pale face at the sound of my father-in-law's voice. I'm sorry. I coldly responded to my mother-in-law. I'm sorry, Dana, but an apology won't make up for what happened. No, it's not like that. I just wanted to teach you a little lesson. A lesson? Is it still okay for you to say such a ridiculous thing while your son is in this state? I couldn't help but feel anger toward my mother-in-law, who couldn't apologize sincerely, and I ended up raising my voice in anger. As a result, she started crying uncontrollably and began to explain the sequence of events. It seems that my mother-in-law purchased this chili powder called scorpion and mixed it into the chocolate in the cookies. She deliberately chose cookies made of pink dough so that the spiciness wouldn't be noticeable based on the color of the chocolate. It was all done to play a little prank on me. Because my husband is sensitive to spiciness, it ended up becoming such a big issue. No matter how light-hearted her intentions may have been, it was not something I could easily forgive. My tearful mother-in-law seems to me to be playing the tragic heroine. Dana, I won't forgive you. Why? Even though I feel so bad. If you truly feel bad, then why don't you apologize to Austin? It was Austin who went through a difficult time, even if I may have suffered. If you can earn my forgiveness, Austin will likely forgive you too. Please stop being so naive. It was the first time I had become so emotional. For some reasons, tears started steaming down uncontrollably. Then, something warm wrapped around my right hand. It was the hand of my husband, lying beside me on the bed. Austin. He gave me a gentle smile, and then glared fiercely at my mother-in-law.
I'm sorry, but I can't trust you anymore, Mom. It's a relief that it was me, but I can't help but feel terrified at the thought of Jamie eating those cookies. I will never let Jamie see you again. Even if we have children in the future, I will never let them meet you.
Wait, please! Austin, I'm your mother, aren't I?
Oh? You've got to be kidding me. Do you even realize how terrible your actions were? Don't call yourself a mother if you have no remorse. Stay away from us for good. If you ever appear in front of us again, there will be consequences. Understand? Now leave.
It seemed that being scolded by her beloved son had a significant impact on her. My mother-in-law became like an empty shell and was dragged out of the hospital room by my father-in-law. My husband was discharged from the hospital safely afterwards, but we haven't seen my mother-in-law since then. She was shocked to be disliked by her son, and it seems she began to isolate herself in her room. After this incident, my father-in-law was quite disgusted, and he plans to bring up divorce once my mother-in-law has calmed down. A light-hearted act of harassment. A light-hearted act of bullying a daughter-in-law. Who would have thought it would escalate to this extent? But it's too late to regret it now, because she did all of those things. She caused my husband so much suffering. That guilt still hasn't disappeared even now. I'm sorry, Austin. It's because of me.
What are you saying? It's not your fault, Jamie. If anything, I'm glad it was me who ate them.
Austin.
You don't have to worry about my mother anymore. I will protect you, Jamie, forever.
My tears welled up at his words, and my vision became blurry. I'm truly fortunate to have married such a kind and wonderful husband. In response to his feelings, I jumped into his arms with all my might. With the greatest strength I've ever had, I held him tightly.